Kuf Gimel Amud Beis. We'll begin Daf Kuf Gimel Amud Aleph, 10 lines from the bottom at the 2 dots. Rav Yaakov bar Abba Iklal Veirova, he went to the house of Rav Chazia the Baruch Bari Peyagaf and Kesakama. So during the Suda, he saw that first they had a Shabbos Suda. First he made a Bari Peyagaf on Kiddush, on the cup for Kiddush. And then he made, by benching, he made the bench, and he made a Bari Peyagaf on the Kais Shal Berchas Hamazon, V'ishta, and he drank from it. So he made another Bari Peyagaf. And even though he made a Bari Peyagaf at the beginning, by Kiddush, he made another Bari Peyagaf on the Kais of Berchas Hamazon. Amar Le, Rav Yaakov bar Abba said to him, why do you have to make another bracha? You already made the bracha by Kiddush. You already made the bracha charazim. You made it once already. Why do you have to make another bracha on the Berchas Hamazon? Amar Le, Rava said to him, Ki avina bereish galusa hachyavdina. When we were eating by the reish galusa, this is what we were noyeg. We were noyeg that to make a separate bracha. Amar Le, Rav Yaakov bar Abba said to him, Tenach bereish galusa hachyavdina. That's right, that's fine that you did, they were knowing that way in the house of the Reish Galusa. Why is that? The Safik Maisilon, Safik Loy Maisilon, because you weren't sure if you're going to get another cup. So therefore, when you made the bracha, the first Bari Peyagaf, you didn't know, you weren't sure you're going to get another cup of wine, and therefore was considered the second cup as a new shtia, a new drinking. But Hamana Kasa Kaman V'Daitan Alave. But here, it's in your own house. You have, the wine is there, and when you made the first Bari Peyagaf, you had in mind that it would be to be mitzi the rest of the wine that you'd be drinking. So why do you have to make another bracha? Omar Lei, he said, Ano Avdi Ketalmid of the Rav. He said, we're noig like the Talmid of Rav, the Rav Brun of Rav Hananel, Talmid of Rav, Havi Yas Besudos. They were Talmid of Rav, and they were by a Suda, Koya Leo, Rav Yevasama. Rav Yevasava was attending to them, was serving them. Amruleh, they said to him, Havlan v'nivrach. They asked him for a cup of wine to bench on. L'saif Amru le Havlan v'nishta. Then they changed their mind and they said, "No, well, we'll continue on." So they asked for another cup of wine to drink. Amar lahu, Rav Yevasava said to them, Hachi Amar Rav. Well, you said let's bench. Now, once you said let's bench, and so you can't drink anymore. You're Masechet das, my time. You're Masechet das. Now you had in mind that you were ending the meal, so you diverted your attention from drinking. You no longer intended to drink, so now that signifies the end of that drinking. So your bracha rishona that you made previously will not be mitzi for what you're drinking now. Once you said havlan nivrach, you're Masechet das. So you have to after you drink after that, you have to make another Bari Peyagaf. Most rishonim hold that this hesach das requires a new bracha rishona, meaning that they could continue to drink, but they would have to make another Bari Peyagaf. That's what the most rishonim learn. But the Rashbam learns, not like Taisus, not like the Rif, not like the Rosh. The Rashbam learns is that no, you have to make a bracha achrona as well. So they would have to bench, and then only after that they could drink, make another bracha rishona and drink. So that's a basic machlokes between the rishonim. But in any event, the bracha rishona is certainly required because you're Masechet das. Also, they were sitting by a suda. So he was serving them. He made a separate Bari Peyagaf on every cup that they brought him. Marzutra made the bracha, like we said before, on the first cup, and then the last cup, the cup of Berchas Hamazon. And Ravashi Barak Kasa Kama Vasulay Barak. And Ravashi was the third shita. He made the bracha to begin with, and he didn't make a bracha afterwards, and not even on the Kais Shal Berchas Hamazon. Amalu Ravacha Rava Anan Keman Navid. So he said, how should we be naik? Amemar Amar Nimlachana. So the Meir said, why was I noig to make the bracha on every cup? Because he says, Nimlachana. I didn't have in mind necessarily that I was going to drink anymore, so I made the bracha on the first one. Then, without having intent that I was going to drink, then when he drank the second one, he changed his mind and he decided anew that he was going to drink. So it's considered to be a new shtiyah. So you have to make a new bracha. So he made a bracha on each shtiyah, because in each shtiyah it was a new decision that he made to drink. Mar Zutra Amar, he said, "No, Dovid Talmid Rav." He's like Talmid Rav, like we said before, that on the first cup he has in mind for everything that they're going to bring him. But the Chayes of Birchas HaMazon is a Hesach Hadas that signifies the end of the meal, and therefore you have to make another bracha. Rav Ashi Amar Les Hilchasa Ketalmidei de Rav, and Rav Ashi says we don't pass on like Talmidei de Rav. And why is that? I'll prove it to you. Because when Yontif falls out, Amos Shabbos falls out on Sunday, so Rav said the order is Yain, Kiddush, Ner Havdalah. And then you drink. Now, even though the Havdalah is between the Bori Priya Gafen and the Kiddush, and so he made Havdalah over there, we don't consider it to be a hefsek. And the same Yain that he made for Kiddush, that same Bori Priya Gafen, is also applicable for the Havdalah. So you see there that we don't say that there's a hefsek over here. We don't say that he makes the yain on Kiddush and he drinks, and then he takes another kais for the Havdalah. He makes it on one kais, one Bori Priya Gafen, even though there's a hefsek between the two, it doesn't require a separate bracha. So here also, the Birchas HaMazon does not require a separate bracha. The wine that he drinks afterwards doesn't necessitate another Bori Priya Gafen. But the Gemara says, it's not a comparison. When he says Birchas HaMazon, that signifies the end of the meal. He's ending the meal, so he has no das anymore to drink. If what he drinks afterwards is a new shtiyah, it means a new bracha. But over here, when he's saying yaknaha, he's not Masiach das from drinking. Opposite, he's making the Kiddush and the Havdalah so that he'll be able to drink. So it's not considered to be a Hesach Hadas. So now, continuing on with the Maisa, and when Rava was about to make Havdalah, so they were there that Shabbos, as Maisa, where they was there the whole Shabbos. It came to Havdalah time. So, Kimat al-Avdullah kam shmaitza vadlik avuka mishraga. He took a torch, and he lit it from a burning lamp to say the bracha of the Ner Bar Mareish. Amar le Rav Yaakov bar Abba said to Rava, Lama lach kulei. Why do you have to do so much? Why do you have to exert yourself so much? Hamancha shraga, you have a candle burning over here. Why do you have to now light a torch from it? He said that Shabbos is doing it on his own. Rav Yaakov bar Abba, he said to him, if the Shabbos hadn't heard it from you that this is what you're supposed to do, he would not have done it on his own. He says, do you not hold that to have an avuka, a torch, is a mitzvah min a muvchar? For Havdalah, you should have different wicks. You should have more than one. It's a mitzvah min a muvchar. You say, borei ma'irei ha'esh, the different light that comes from the different flames, the different colors that are there. So, therefore, to have an avuka is a min a muvchar that shows the different flames, the different light that we have, that Hashem created. Then he started to say the Havdalah. So Rava started to say the Havdalah, and he said, "Amavul ben kodesh l'chol, ben or l'chayshech, ben Yisrael l'amim, ben yom yishvil sheish samei amas." So he elaborated on these different Havdalahs, the different separations that we have, all these different separations. So Amar Le, so Rav Yaakov bar Abba said to him, Lama kulei hay, why do you have to say so much? Va Amar Rav Yehuda mar Rav, Amavul ben kodesh l'chol, Zuev dalaslos Rav Yehuda nasi. Rabbi, his Havdalah was Amavul ben kodesh l'chol. He didn't elaborate with all these different havdalas. Then to say Mavdul ben Kodesh l'chol ben or l'chodesh mitzrol amim yam shteish zaman. Why did you elaborate so much? Rabbi said, Amar le anaba hasfirle kahasfirle ahu, like the following: the Amar Rabbi Lazar Amar v'Aishia ha'peiches la yifchas misholish. When you make the havdalah, you shouldn't say less than 3 havdalahs, 3 separations. Ha'moisiv la yosef al sheva. And when you add, you shouldn't add more than 7. You shouldn't add on more than 7. We find in the Torah that there's 7 havdolahs, that the Torah mentions havdalah in a Talmud Torah, etc. There's 7 havdolahs, so you should not do more than what's written in the Torah, but you should not do less than 3. We'll see in the next Talmud, the Gemara will elaborate on this.